First, I just want to take this opportunity to thank everyone for coming out here. From the World Bank side, it's a privilege to have this kind of discussion and be talking about technology, and also specifically drone technology that we see, as one of the most impactful technologies for the next generation to come. So we are quite excited to be talking to you about this, and also having the opportunity to be able to support Nepal in its effort to accelerate, the progress that is happening in this sector. We understand regionally also that drone is something that, of course, will provide a lot of benefits to the region. Just looking at several examples of what is happening in different parts of South Asia, but also particularly since 2015, as an example, during the earthquake, Nepal was able to mobilize several technologies, including drones, in its effort to manage the earthquake at the time, right? And I think since then, the use of drone technology has evolved quite rapidly, now going into different areas beyond disaster risk management, but also looking at logistics, looking at agriculture, looking at construction management. So there are several opportunities, for Nepal, of course, to be able to leverage drone technology. Some of the discussions that I've been involved in, since 1 year that I've been here in Nepal, just discussing with various stakeholders, people have talked about we need improvements in regulations, as an example, but also there's a big gap in terms of capacity building, as there's no harmonized training for drone pilots, drone analysts, drone technicians. So this is one area also that the World Bank is interested in supporting Nepal specifically to help address. So looking at how we can help harmonize drone training curriculum, but also, and that is one of the reasons why we're having this discussion as well, because you are the practitioners and you know what the limitations are in the sector. So we definitely look forward to your inputs on what kind of things can the government do, and even with our support as well, to improve drone training curriculum going forward. Another aspect that is of interest to us to support would be small businesses that are operating in this space, right? So we're looking at, okay, as we build capacity, how would the capacity that is built for the young generation, the use of technology, be adapted by small businesses to be able to improve the services that they're able to deliver? So this is a very critical part, and as part of this program, as we begin to go through the overall program, you'll be able to see broadly the areas that the World Bank is interested in supporting, which includes small businesses as well. Okay, all right. But we'll just move to the next slide. So just to highlight here, this program, although it's implemented by the World Bank, this is being supported by the Korean World Bank Partnership Facility. So this is a trust fund that the World Bank is implementing, working in close collaboration with the government of Nepal. These are some of the things I've talked about in the beginning. So maybe if we can just move to the next slide. So in the next slide, we go into the objectives of the program. Can we move to the next slide? Okay, sorry, the technology is always a bit slow, so this is why we're having this discussion, so that we can help move it fast. So the main objective of this program is to enhance the drone ecosystem preparedness in Nepal. So specifically, we are looking at addressing institutional aspects, but also looking at sectoral capacity building as well, specifically looking at the applications of drone technology, and also institutional capacity in terms of academia and capacity building. So based on some of the drone training programs that are available in universities, in some of the technical institutions that are out there, how can we improve that process to make sure that we can leverage and get the most benefit out of this technology for Nepal's economy? The second aspect, which is the bigger picture, is that we are looking at a situation where in the nearest future, Nepal can become a regional hub for capacity building in terms of drone technology. So this is one of the examples that we've had discussions and we are engaging strongly with other continents on. Specifically, we've looked at the African continent on this. You must have heard about the African Drone and Data Academy, which was supported by UNICEF. So even in our consultations, we're having strong engagement with UNICEF as well and seeing whether there's opportunity to establish such an academy here in Nepal, because we can see how drone technology is evolving, and there's a strong opportunity here to make Nepal that hub where everybody can come and learn from Nepal's experiences as well. So as part of that, the idea is to help build the foundation to make this a reality. And one of those is improving regulations. The other part is recommending, world-class curriculum that we can make sure that the capacity that is built in Nepal is at par with every other expert anywhere in the world as well. Then the other parts as well, like I highlighted, is how do we make youths more employable and make them be able to access digital jobs for the future? So this is a critical element of this program, and also how can we support small businesses going forward? Next slide, please. So to go into the list of activities that are programmed there, and why I'm highlighting this is so that we understand the big picture, so that as we're having, I don't think the next slide is thank you. maybe that slide disappeared. Okay, that's the one. But yeah, so the first activity is what we are all participating in right now, which is this ecosystem assessment. As Mr. Bodhi had highlighted, you can't begin to intervene in a sector when you don't really know the extent of what is happening and how this sector is evolving and changing. So that's the reason why, in collaboration with the government of Nepal and also working with the Nepal Flying Labs as well, we are trying to do this initial assessment to understand broadly what is happening in the sector, both in government, both in the capacity building sector as well, and also in the private sector. So we want to look broadly across all of these sectors. For the government, the discussion is centered around policies and regulations. So what are the existing policies? What are the gaps? What are the opportunities? And even the policies that are already existing, how well is it being implemented and what can be improved? The question that I want all of us to be asking ourselves is, particularly for the regulation aspect, is what are the 2-3 things that you think can be added to, can be removed or adjusted, or can be reviewed in the existing regulation that would help move the drone ecosystem in Nepal forward, right? So no matter the sector that you're involved in, so what are the changes that can happen in the policy that will improve that sector? For the private sector aspect, so it also the same questions as well, looking at what are the gaps in the system at the moment, and what are the main challenges that are faced in the private sector, right? And how can we address those challenges? This could be financial challenges, this could be technological challenges, this could be human resource challenges. So these are some of the things that I would like us to think about in this discussion. Then when we go into the educational sector, the interest is on understanding, okay, based on some of the programs that we had, I believe most of us here are geomatics engineers or geomatics experts and even have bachelor's and master's degrees and PhDs from different aspects. But we must have understood as we became practitioners, when we went into the field, we must have seen the limitations of some of the knowledge that we're exposed to as well. So based on our experience now as practitioners, how can we help inform the curriculum to make sure that the next generation of drone experts that will be coming out from either universities or training institutions or short courses, what knowledge and skills do they need to have that would be relevant to the sector, right? So these are some of the discussions we need to have in that space. So this I'm particularly talking about this conference. But broadly, we're also looking at having a South Asia Drone Symposium as well, where we can understand and learn from other countries. Because the world is now a global village, like everyone understands. So even if you have a skill, here in Nepal, your skill could be relevant for you to work remotely or work in other countries as well, and even provide remittances back to your country and to help support your families as well. So it's important that we understand what is happening globally, regionally, and how we can leverage either knowledge or even human resource gaps in other countries as well, and see whether there's an opportunity for Nepal to benefit from these global and regional opportunities. Then the second aspect on sectoral capacity strengthening specifically focuses on supporting drone regulations. I think this was what Mr. Bodhi was talking about. And it's very important, to also highlight that you as practitioners are the ones that will inform where the regulation will be going. So it's important to please provide all of the information that you think is necessary to inform regulations going forward. The next aspect is on supporting curriculums itself. right? And this I've already highlighted. Then, of course, there's going to be training of trainers as well, and also training of a whole bunch of experts across use of drone technology, data analysis, even the design and programming of drones as well. So these are things that are being considered. The third aspect is on supporting the private sector. So we are also envisioning apprenticeship programs where most of the people that are trained will be able to provide their capacity to the private sector, right, to help them to leverage to leverage and also to leapfrog on where they need to be. But also looking at also opportunities for hackathons, but also opportunity to providing some grant resources to the private sector. So we really appreciate the participation of the private sector in this discussion, because there's an opportunity here also, for mutual benefit, for you to inform what is happening, but also for you to also get some support as well. So these are important parts I just wanted to highlight. The other aspect is we as an institution also, we want to learn and also use some of this drone technology and capacities that are available in Nepal. So as you expand and as you grow, look to us as an institution where you can provide services to, and this is something that is also envisioned in this program as well. So I think the next slide will be thank you, and thank you very much for your time.